So it is live. You can initiate.
Okay, welcome to the live session. Are there any questions that any of you would like to ask?
Please unmute yourself and raise the queries. If any of you have any queries.
No questions? Yes, Sudha. Okay, if you don't have any specific questions, anyone has? Somebody is unmuted. Miss Janani. Okay. Okay, one simple thing is, if you don't have questions, let me make some statements. You are able to hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The final exam will be exclusively multiple choice questions. There are no short answer questions. Everything, there will be 50 questions and all 50 will be multiple choice questions. Some of them will have two answers to be given. Some will only have one. And another thing about these multiple choice questions is, among the options given, you are required to identify the most appropriate one. Because some options may look nearly correct. Okay, that's what we find earlier with many people. They also appear to be correct. But even though it may sound correct, but among the 4 or 5 options given, you have to choose the most appropriate one. Okay? That's the only rule that we need to follow. Let me also make a few statements about the course itself. The is something about education, whatever that we propose, there is nothing like a unique correct answer. Okay, there are many ways of doing things. So what happens is, which one, maybe many correct ways of doing things. There is no single way of teaching and learning process. So that's the reason why some of you, when you look at these whatever solutions that were given, you may say, why should we do like that? Why not in some other way? Yes, something can be done, but whatever alternative that you choose or whatever other procedure you think is correct, it has to be embedded into a complete solution. Because whatever you choose should not be get into some issues with the other aspects of teaching and learning. So what our attempt had been, not only in this course but a similar course, is to offer you a non-unique complete solution. All steps are justified with the theoretical knowledge that we have at present. That is one part. Then there is no, there are no exact things to be said, because especially if you take the taxonomy of learning, we are trying, essentially taxonomy of learning is nothing but how do I classify the outcomes. Classification of outcomes is based on our perception or whatever our knowledge, limited knowledge we have, what happens in the brain. As our knowledge about the processes that happen in the brain is very limited, that's why there is no unique way, there is no single taxonomy that can be stated that this is correct. So there are other taxonomies, and people have used them also. And the only thing is, right now, the revised Bloom's taxonomy is the one that is used by maximum number of people around the world, both in Europe, North America, and in India, and in China as well. People, that accounts for three-fourths of the things. And then we have limited ourselves only to the cognitive domain, which is again a self-imposed limitation, because when you're in the process of learning, the learning doesn't happen only in the cognitive domain. The affective domain and psychomotor domain also equally play, especially affective domain plays a very dominant role. And we haven't integrated, we haven't looked at affective domain, whatever activities we think happen in the affective domain. That is because we really don't know how to state and how do you measure the learning that takes place in the affective domain. Though some people made an attempt, For example, there is one Fink taxonomy and there is one Marzano taxonomy where they try to include the some aspects of affective domain, not completely. And in some places, they've gone to the extent of adding, if you want to label it as a spiritual domain as well. Okay. But they're only, again, while they have practiced and it has been incorporated, but it is still, in my opinion, not complete. Whatever you are able to, what do you call, write, where you can write outcomes and you can plan instruction according to that, and even plan assessment according to that. People have attempted to do that, but not complete. So here in our course, TALG, we have limited ourselves only to the cognitive domain. To that extent, it is limited. If, I've been looking at literature related to affective domain, while we can give what do you call, different levels, like what we defined in the cognitive domain, cognitive levels. Similarly, affective levels have been identified and some examples are given, but still we do not know how do you combine in the classroom environment. How do you address that? And how do you assess the student learning? We haven't been able to have, at least I haven't been able to locate any material regarding that. So we are we have limited ourselves to the cognitive domain. Okay. And another one is things, though we talk about taxonomy means really classification of outcomes. And generally, if the taxonomy, the word that is used in the context of science, like botany or any other, or even mathematics and so on, if an element belongs to one set, it doesn't belong to any other set. That means they have to be mutually exclusive. But here, in this particular exercise, or in this particular like our taxonomy, Bloom's taxonomy, revised Bloom's taxonomy, there is not that kind of a sharp transition between different cognitive levels. That is the reason why at several places we say the teacher has to decide based on the context. For example, if you use the word identify, an action verb, it can belong to several cognitive levels. It can be part of understanding, or it can be part of analyze. So to which category does it belong? You have to decide based on the context. So you don't have such sharp dividing line between cognitive levels. That is because of our understanding is limited as of now. Okay, these are the few points I wanted to bring it to your attention. But if you now have any questions, we can we'll attempt to answer that. Now, at least a few of you have joined. Please do ask some questions or share your experiences. Hello. Okay, if you do not have any other questions, then we will close this session. Is that okay with you all? Okay, at least there is one that has come. Generally, how to prepare for Swayam examination. We are not doing as per the Swayam rules. We are doing it as per the NPTEL mechanism. NPTEL will, just like you had your assignment questions, we had 10 questions from for each week. Similarly, in the end semester, in the final exam, you will have some questions from what you have already answered from the assignment questions, and you will have some questions from purely what you call remember type. And then you will have other general questions, which are also all in multiple choice mode because of the nature of the subject matter. Whereas other courses in NPTEL, they can have 5-mark questions and 10-mark questions and so on. Here we don't have, because one is the number of participants involved. Manual correction will become practically impossible, because we had something like more than 1,000 people who actually registered for the course. That means they're going to write the exam. We will not be able to manually correct. So the examination is limited to multiple choice questions. It is a bit restrictive. Ideally, we could have asked you to write some outcomes and ask you a little more for understanding, which will involve your at least writing a short note and so on. But we are unable to go through that more. So it will be all multiple choice questions. From the examination point of view, the video material that has been presented, in principle, it is adequate. But if you want, actually, there is one website, which is, please note it down, higheredu.org.in. Okay. higheredu.org.in. If you go to that, under the general programs, it has several sections. Under the general programs, some material related to the outcome-based education is given, there will be some 50-page document, which you can read. Okay. Anything else, please? Okay, if there are no further questions, we will close the session, and Good luck for the examination. Thank you.